Think about this. Leading a massive, monumental engineering project without actually having an engineering degree. And this is back in the 19th century.
Yeah, it's quite something.
We're talking about Emily Warren Roebling, born 1843, Cold Spring, New York. And her early education, it was in things like literature, history, science.
Which was really quite progressive, very unusual for women at that time. And what's so fascinating, I think, is how that unconventional start, well, it wasn't just a backdrop. It really became the foundation for her whole career. Our mission today really is to figure out how Emily Warren Roebling became this pioneer in engineering, how she defied all the expectations, basically shaped history, without ever holding that formal title.
Right.
Her background, so different, wasn't a hindrance. It was like the toolkit she needed for what came next.
And the challenges ahead were just colossal, much like the Brooklyn Bridge itself, right?
Absolutely.
She married Washington Roebling, who became the chief engineer for this huge project. But the real test, the moment that really cements her place in history, that came in the 1870s. Washington got incredibly sick.
Yeah.
Severe decompression sickness.
The bends, yeah. From working in the caissons, deep underwater, debilitating stuff.
Exactly. Left him mostly bedridden. So Emily, she didn't just step up. She basically had to reinvent herself. And, well, she saved the project by doing it. She became the main connection, the link between her husband, who was stuck at home, and that massive construction site.
Yeah, and this is where, the deep dive really gets interesting. Connecting that early life to this incredible role she took on, the sources show she just dove in, learned engineering, math, material science, even complex stuff like cable construction. She absorbed it all incredibly fast.
So not just theory.
Oh, definitely not just theory.
Yeah.
She was immersed, understanding structural loads, material stresses, the physics of suspension bridges. It was like a real-world, incredibly high-stakes apprenticeship on the job.
Wow.
And her grasp of using those steel wire cables, which were still pretty new and untested for something this big, that was absolutely critical.
It really sounds like she ended up running the whole show. But what about the other hurdles beyond just the technical side of things?
Right.
Was it just because she was close to Washington, or did she have this sort of natural diplomatic skill to navigate that, completely male-dominated world?
That's a great question. And the sources suggest it was, well, both. An extraordinary mind and some really formidable social skills. She wasn't just passing messages back and forth, no way. She was effectively managing the project.
Okay.
That meant overseeing daily work, managing this huge, diverse workforce, negotiating tricky contracts with suppliers, and even handling the politics, dealing with politicians.
I can only imagine.
The hurdles were immense. Skepticism wasn't the half of it. It was outright dismissal sometimes from engineers, from politicians. They just couldn't quite grasp a woman having that kind of technical understanding. So her authority, she had to earn it every single day, brick by brick, you could say. Her science background helped her pick up the engineering fast, but those studies in literature, history, they probably sharpened her communication, her negotiation, her leadership, skills she desperately needed to wrangle everyone involved.
It shows expertise isn't just about a degree or a title, right?
Absolutely not.
It's about understanding the problem, getting the skills you need, and just having the determination to see it through. What an incredible story. Emily Warren Roebling, the driving force behind the Brooklyn Bridge.
An icon, truly.
And her role was so clear, so undeniable, that the final proofs came in 1883. She was the very first person to cross the completed bridge.
Yeah.
What a symbol of her leadership.
A powerful moment.
So what does all this mean for you listening in? Well, maybe it means challenging our own assumptions about who gets to lead, what real expertise looks like, and where you might find mastery, often where you least expect it.